Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our pitch event. Today, we have another four dating a great funders coming from Asia. This pitch event is dedicated to for the Asian founders. We decided to launch the Asia pitch event a month ago. It is because we do believe Asia is the next big thing. Of course, we are very much committed to Europe, US, South America. So in one word, we are committed worldwide. Our mission is to help funders to come, tell their story, and giving them the voice and the possibility wherever they are without any borders and finding the right investor that can help them to move forward and turning an idea in great success. So today we have actually we have four founders. One will join us soon, and I'm introducing each of them one by one, starting for Shershah Hassan, CEO and co-founder of KalPay. KalPay is headquartered in Lahore, Pakistan. The sector is financial fintech. The investment round is a seed round, and Shershah is asking for $500,000 in USD. Welcome, Shershah. How's it going?
Hi, Max. It's going well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank absolutely to you and to all of you guys spending some time with us today. We are going to enjoy this session a lot. Shershah, if you want to give an introduction to yourself, and after you can straight go to pitch without waiting for me. Thank you.
For sure, for sure. Thank you so much. Well, guys, I'm Shershah, one of the co-founders and CEO of KalPay. I have my background in accounting and finance. I did it from a top-tier business school in Pakistan. So personally, I was going for a financier career, did my CFA level one, but then started this venture around when the pandemic came in. KalPay is actually my third company, my third venture, but the first venture-backed one. I started my first company at the age of 18. It was a growth and marketing studio. Then I ventured into e-commerce, built my store, ran that for a couple of years, and now I'm focusing on building KalPay and giving people easy access to financing. Well, post introduction, I would definitely start off by talking about the problem at hand, because it is very important for us to sort of realize how big of an issue consumer credit in Pakistan is. So the issue is that consumer credit is either not available or it's too expensive. We're talking about less than a million credit cards for more than 220 million people in Pakistan. Now, for the remaining population, people have to resort to informal means of lending, and that means for every rupee that they're borrowing, they may end up paying 4 rupees back. That's around 300% in interest rate. That's where the idea of KalPay and our solution comes in. Through KalPay, we are empowering the underbanked population of Pakistan by giving them access to easy financing through our digitized lending platform, through a streamlined, secure, and efficient process that we have in place. KalPay currently operates across three different verticals. The first and the largest one is KalPay Rasai, through which we are giving customers access to up to 12 months of installments for products such as smartphones and laptops, etc., and then services such as travel. In this segment in particular, we are working with gig economy workers through the likes of Uber, Foodpanda, and Karim, and giving their riders and captains access to smartphone financing so they can earn a livelihood through that. The second vertical is KalPay Talim, our education financing vertical, where we are giving university-going students access to financing so they can split their half or biannual semester fee into monthly installments. And last but not the least, we are also currently the largest buy now pay later in Pakistan. And over here, we embed our payments solution on the e-commerce store checkout page, and we give the customers access to split their payments in three equal monthly installments. Across these three verticals in which we are operating, we have a total target market of more than $220 billion, and it has been growing in double figures year over year. And the best part about this opportunity is that these markets, these verticals, they're still largely untapped, which makes it the perfect opportunity, the perfect time to sort of start growing in these verticals. So now talking about, we've spoken about the problem. How is KalPay trying to tackle that? We have a digital first approach. We allow the customer to select the service and the product they want. We have built an in-house solution for eKYC or identity verification, through which we do facial recognition, etc. And then at the back end, we have a credit scoring mechanism through which we do internal credit scoring, and we also working with other external parties and get access to data through them. And then, of course, the order is fulfilled, and we get subsequent payments from the customer. Across these three verticals, KalPay and has two primary revenue models. The first one is getting discount from our partner merchants or our partner vendors, and then secondly, we do charge the customers in the education and the Rasai model up to around 36 to 50% annualized interest rates. So ever since we launched off with our MVP in October 21, KalPay has come a long way. And all of the credit goes to the team who has put in the effort and the hard work. And since then, we have dispersed more than 230 million rupees worth of loans to the market. We have partnered with around 500 companies now. We closed the pre-seed round in early 22, and we have launched our products across three different verticals. Till date, the total GMV or the total loans that we've given out in the market have crossed $1 million. And that has been across more than 28,000 customers that we have worked with. And one of the most important metric for us is the percentage of repeat customers that we have, which is close to around 36%, and through which we are able to ensure that we only deal with good customers who have a good repayment history. What we are envisioning to become is a one-stop shop for micro and nano financing needs in Pakistan, and really creating an impact in people's life by giving them easy access to financing, by enabling income, by enabling education through our products. So we have been lucky enough to be backed by a globally renowned investors such as Super Capital VC, SOSV, and Indian investors such as Yasir and Gandhi. And we also have local debt partners, which are non-banking financial companies, and some private investors that we're working with. The core team has a perfect mix of technical and business background. My co-founder and I, we have investments for the past 10 years. Both of us have a business background. Our CTO, Saad, has around 8 years worth of experience across at different IT companies, and previously he was heading an IT company in Germany. Hassan Mubarak has his MBA from the same alma mater as us, and previously he was working as a head of institution sales at one of the premier fintechs in Pakistan. We're also backed and supported by other senior professionals as directors and advisors who have decades worth of experience across globally renowned entities and financial institutions. We're raising $1 million for a seed round. More than half of it has already been closed. So we are looking for another $500,000. And the plan is to close this over the next 6 to 8 weeks. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Shershah. Very interesting. Let me, we must allow everyone to access credit. This is, I do believe you are doing something that will impact the life of many. Now, let me start from the end. You had two ways to generate revenues, right? And can you be a little bit more specifying how you charge the merchant, how you charge the users, right? And how where do you believe most of the revenue will come from?
That's a great question. So when we talk about charging the merchant, so basically we partner up with these companies first. We sign an agreement and we agree on a certain discount that we would be getting from them. So take an example of a product that's worth $1,000, and we have agreed on a 7% discount on them. So the company gets paid $930, but that for the customer that price remains at $1,000. That's number one. For the customer, now we build or add interest or additional pricing on top of the retail price that the customer would otherwise get if he was purchasing on cash. So for the same example that we're talking about, a $1,000 product, the customer, depending on the number of installments and the percentage of down payment that he is making, we will charge them anywhere between 1.75 to 3% per month. So the price increases, it might go up to, let's say, $1,100, and then they pay us back in equal monthly installments. For us, majority of the revenue is coming in from the customers, which can be anywhere between 36 to 50% annualized.
When we talk about GMV, which must be gross merchandise value, right?
Yeah.
How much, if you're 1.2 million annually, how much comes to your, not profit? I mean, I don't want to talk about profit in startups because it's ridiculous, but how much goes in your as cash available for next?
That's a great question. So, if we 1.2 is annualized GMV, so if we did $100,000 versus GMV in 1 month, our net take rate is around 6 to 7%. on average across these verticals. We would
This
do
is
around,
right.
yes, so around $6,000 to $7,000.
But does take into account the users, right? The educational side, how you charge the users.
Yes, yes, that
So how
does
much you
take
make
that.
how much you
Sorry?
making monthly? Your
So
monthly rate.
every month, we're doing between $7,000 to $8,000 currently with the current GMV that we are able to generate.
That's recurrent, yeah.
Yes.
When it comes to merchants, how do they pay you? Monthly
So
on
so for the merchants, since we pay them, so for example, if you're purchasing a product, if you're purchasing an iPhone, it's $1,000 worth of iPhone, we would pay them $950. So we deduct our commission at source.
okay. So you collect the money.
Yes, we
Okay.
collect the money.
That's so in terms because you are collecting touch money, do you need any permission, any license for doing this in Pakistan? You are in Pakistan, if I remember, yeah?
Yes, yes. That's a great question, and I think a question that comes up very frequently. In Pakistan, we are regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, the SEC, under the non-banking financial company license. So it's an NBFC license that we require. However, the regulator has guided the companies to go about in two ways. Either you get your own license, or you partner up with other companies and use their license to sort of operate till you get your own. So we went for the latter because it was easier and a quicker way to get into the market and start, start deploying capital in the market. We over the next 2 to 3 months we are in the process of applying for our own license. Hopefully, within the next few months, we should be a license ourselves as well.
But just to make sure everyone is understanding, me included, of course. And are you deploying capital now?
Yes, we are.
In terms of, I see you are using an internal and external credit score, right?
Yes.
Why you want to use an external one? Are you not able to have your private credit score?
But the reason that we use an external one, there are two primary reasons for that. The one is regulatory; it's a regulatory requirement. We have to report data to the credit bureaus, and we have to get credit reports on the bureau as well. And then secondly, because they have access to a much larger database. If you are working with close to 30,000 customers, these are companies who are working with around 20 to 30 million customers. So, they of course naturally have access to more data, and which just helps us, take a much more informed decision as well.
I understand. I mean, in terms of credit risk, I mean, how do you balance your external? Who is going to weight more? Let's say you're scoring 5 and you're scoring 2, right? Where do you balance, to the right or to the left? You give
Um,
more to yours or to the external one?
Yeah, mostly. So it depends. So it depends. On the type of phones I'm giving out, on why the external score is low. What are the reasons behind that? If a customer is a habitual defaulter, then of course he would rely on the external score and not give out the loan to the customer. But mostly in most cases we rely on our own credit scores, because we have been on the market for quite some time. We have been working with thousands of customers. We have deployed millions of rupees worth of loans in the market. So, our team, we have those mechanisms in place through which we are able to, take a good judgment call on the cases that we come across.
Okay. I mean, having just a few more questions after we need to move to the next fund. But my first one is in terms of capital. How do you collect capital? Where this capital is coming from and how?
So far, most of the capital that we're deploying in the market was from the equity money that we have raised from the equity investors that we have. But recently, we have signed agreements with non-banking financial companies. We are getting debt capital from these companies. We are working with few individual investors as well, who have given us access to capital in terms of debt. So now the portfolio is sort of shifting towards one that is more focused around debt than on equity, because of course equity I'm a financier by background, so equity is definitely one of the most expensive forms of capital that you can get, and
Yeah.
it's of course finite in numbers as well.
I mean, from my perspective, using equity to give that is pretty dangerous.
Yeah,
And also, you must raise so much money that your dilution will be extremely to the end. So I do believe you must find debt for debt, right? You must have debt
exactly,
to give
exactly.
and leverage the interest you pay. Uh, my last one. What's your investor persona? Who are you looking for? And in this case, this round is for the deploy cash or just for operational?
For this round, it's a mixture of both, because we're in talks with a few other financing companies as well. So hopefully, within this year, 80% of the loan book would be financed by debt capital that we get again. So the usage of equity is actually going to shrink a lot, but primarily the capital is going to be used for OPEX. In terms of the investor persona, I personally, so far, at least at this early age, have preferred working with angel investors a lot. And the reason is the value add that they bring in, because angel investors tend to usually be involved in a lot of things. They bring a certain sort of expertise with them. So we have people who have experience in tech, who have experience in background, people who have experience in fintech or financing, financial industries. So we really try to cash in on those. So it's the social capital, of course, that they bring in, and the expertise and the knowledge that they're able to bring into the company, because I see that as a very big value add for us.
When is early, man, not only when you're early. Smart money, it's the only thing you need. Just money can be enough.
Well, that's certainly true as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Eshash.
Thank you so much,
Unfortunately,
man.
limited time. Please stay with us. We are all back soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I'm moving to aerospace org. Akshat Soni, sales and marketing team, or of course, Hawker Aerospace. Headquartered is Maharashtra, India. The sector is aerospace and aerospace technology. Investment around pre-seed USD 4.8 million. How's it going, Akshat?
Hi Max, I'm good. How are you doing?
All good. Thank you so much for coming. We really enjoyed talking to founders, myself for sure. Please,
Yeah,
if you want to do introduction to yourself and after go straight to pitch. Thank you.
sure. Good evening, everyone. I'm Akshat Soni from Hawk Aerospace India. I have done my MBA recently from Bangalore, and I have been working extensively into market entry into agricultural markets for Hawk Aerospace. Let me just present my slide. Yeah. So, Hawk Aerospace is an Indian all-round drone service provider, which is present throughout the country with exceptional pilot services and training, and an excellent customer support and feedback system. Our mission is to transform the world with a sustainable aviation and aerospace ecosystem in aerostructure design and development, professional training, and flying operations. Our vision is to create the world's easiest aerosystem for the common man. Our core team consists of four members. Srinivas, our founder and executive director, has over 18 years of extensive experience in Indian drone market. John Mathai has over 28 years of experience in Bloomberg and IHS market in Asia Pacific region. Manish has over 25 years of IT experience and served as vice president for Reliance Jio. Vikas has over 20 years of product development experience and served as global associate director of LG and Kohler. To understand the market, let's start with the Indian drone market, which is expected to grow at a CAGR of 20.3% from 2022 to 2027. The requirement in 2027 is expected to be about 4.13 million units across India. The market can be majorly divided into three segments: drone hardware manufacturing, software development, and drone service provider. Now, in the Indian markets are extensively inclined towards drone services due to the requirement of huge capital investments in the R&D of hardware and software, because of which companies look to import drones from other countries like China, Korea, and Japan and provide services using them. The major demand creators you can see here are the defense industry, which is highly regulated and thus difficult to operate in, and the agriculture industry, which is our primary target market. Now let's look into the agri market of India, which we are targeting. By 2030, it is expected that the use of drones will grow at a CAGR of 38.5% to 121 million dollars, and an adoption rate of 2%, which is a huge number when you see in terms of the massive Indian agriculture market. The major reasons for this expansion are the government initiatives towards advanced agricultural techniques like precision farming and the requirement for more efficient farming methods. Various government initiatives support and subsidize the use of drones in farming, which has also motivated smaller plantations as well to use advanced drone techniques. To understand the gap in the market, we have researched five important areas, namely market size and growth potential, existing players and offerings, customer needs and pain points, regulatory and policy landscape, and technological advancements. All of them have helped us in deriving three important results. First, the need for skilled pilots to use drones and provide knowledge to the customer businesses. Second, the importance of making early stage entry into the agriculture market and forming long term partnerships with major agricultural businesses in India. Third, in an underdeveloped agriculture market of India, value added services like customer support and feedback and pilot services are highly beneficial to develop the business. Now, to understand the market problems which we have developed through our analysis are lack of local UAV and pilot availability, real-time surveillance and securitization, unavailability of training and maintenance services, and the lack of leasing options of UAVs. Now, based on the analysis under our organizational strategy, we have built the company upon four major pillars: R&D, manufacturing, services, and customer support, with the foundations of competency, innovation, and customer focus approach. Our market strategy can be understood as an amalgamation of franchisee owned, franchisee operated centers and company owned, company operated models, which will provide us greater reach. Our target is to cover operations in 745 targeted districts of India through 20 COCO and 152 FOFO centers. Our revenue streams can be divided into two parts: core streams that include drone sales, drone services, and after sales services and maintenance. Adjacent streams are mainly monetizing add on services and B2B learning and development. In the coming quarters, we aim to set up our manufacturing capabilities and develop software for image capture, image analysis, and AI based predictions. Under our investment strategy, it demands a total funding of 4.8 million US dollars, which amounts to 40 crores in Indian rupees. The major chunk of the funding we will be investing in R&D setup and production facilities. Our investments will help us in two major areas: technology and industrial applications. Under technology, we will be working on developing the hardware and software, which will help us in adding sensors to our drones, increasing the battery life, and developing software applications. Under industrial applications, we will work on developing business intelligence, fast track market surveillance, and boosting our logistics. Our footprint in India is through the head office in Mumbai and two other offices in the central regions of the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Akash. I mean, very interesting. I'm such a big fan of aerospace. Drone is the future.
That's great.
Uh, let
That's
me,
true also.
yeah. You had three revenue streams, right?
Yeah.
And where are you standing today with these three? Are you making any
Sorry.
revenue, and if where the revenues are coming from?
Right. So currently our operations are based on services that we provide through the drones. Drone sales we do by importing drones, but our plan why we are asking for 4.8 million USD is the reason that we want to enter into manufacturing. We have been preparing quite a lot for last 1 year, 1 or 2 years, right, for developing software and to work on the hardware to manufacture our own drones in India. And the revenue streams we will be expanding through manufacturing drones and then selling them. Right now we have been providing services.
So for now, you are doing the post sales service, and you are also already teaching the pilots, I suppose.
Actually, adding to that also, we have not just been providing after sales service. Provide services apart from selling drones. Like in agriculture, for example, there is a huge demand for spraying of pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers on the field, right? Now the thing is, people in India are not in farming, in agricultural market, are not educated enough to use an UAV, right? So we have our own trained pilots who do this services for them, for the plantations, for the tea estates and all. And moreover, we also do the training, pilot training. We also provide them the training to get to make them ready for the usage of drones. And later on, we so that we can sell our drones to them and they can use it.
So if I want to use your drone, I'm coming to you. You can sell it to me. Give me the pilot service, and if I want to buy, you train me how to use it.
Yes, if you buy it, we will train you how to use it, and there are certain regulations set by the Indian government on the usage on the who can actually use the drones. So you need to pass a few criterias that has been set by the Indian government. If a candidate which has been sent by the business, our customer business, passes through those basic regulations, then we will be providing training to every candidate that we are selling to whom we are selling the drone.
I mean, in terms of, do you have any competitor do something similar in India?
Good question. So basically, in terms of competitors, you will see that mostly in Indian markets, people are selling drones. They are drone sellers. There are very few or very small drone service providers. Till now, there is no exclusively present service provider, drone service provider. The reason being, it is a very unorganized market, and it is a very scattered market basically. So we'll actually have to tap in. We will be like one of the very first companies to tap into such a market, and therefore in my presentation also I mentioned early entry partnerships will be very helpful for us, which we have been targeting for past 1 or 2 years.
I mean, where do you see the adoption coming, the strong adoption in terms of industry coming from agriculture, for example?
Sorry, I didn't understand that question. Can you please
The
repeat?
adoption. Where do you see the adoption coming from? Agriculture, security, in terms of demand to buy your service and your drones.
Right. So, in the Indian government has been actually subsidizing the use of drones. The reason being that it will increase the efficiency and efficacy of all the agricultural inputs that are being supplied, like pesticides and fertilizers and all. So, as you know, the population of India has risen to like the highest in the world, and therefore there is a huge demand of agriculture output also. Like we need to increase the efficiency to actually cater to that bigger population. Because of that reason, Indian government has been actually pushing drone use and increasing the efficiency. So that is why we think there is a huge demand for drones. And from our operations till now, we have found many potential customers and we have been catering to them till now.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of be vertical as much as you can. So I'm very happy you are producing, designing, and giving the post service and even the training. Uh,
Thanks.
where do you see in the next 5 years the bulk of the money coming from? From the sales or from the service?
So see, the market right now, Indian market is in a very nascent stage. However, in next 5 years, right now we have to apply the push strategy. Reason being, people are not ready to accept yet. Not everyone is ready to accept drones, right? In place of labor, human labor. But in the coming years, we are sure that through the initiatives all around that are going by the Indian government and also internationally, people are going to get aware and will be accepting drones. We all are aware of how the utilization is there, and therefore I believe in coming years, drone sales will be a major part of revenue for us. And for that reason only, being long sighted as a company, we are targeting manufacturing and R&D in that division.
That's my last. Any investor person in mind they would like to be in touch with?
Not as such, but we are open to actually get in touch with all the
No, man.
investors
So,
who are interested.
do you have any precise description? Are you looking for angels, for smart money, for people who can give you the money but also help you?
Okay, yeah. So it will be helpful for us if investors who belong to some aerospace area, who have some experience in manufacturing of drones and research and development of drones, and also setting up of assembly lines and manufacturing units. Such investors will be really helpful for us.
Thank you, Akash. Please stay with us. Don't go. We are all back soon. So
Sure,
before
Max.
introducing, thank you so much. Before introducing Furqan, anyone watching us, if you want to make any questions, just write it down, and we are more than happy to bring them to the founders. Now, uh, Mohammed, Furqan, Karim, Kidwai, co-founder and CEO of YPay. YPay is headquartered in Karachi, Pakistan. The sector is fintech, wealth, investment tech. We're talking about a C round of 1.75 million in USD. How's it going, Furqan?
Thanks, Max, for having me. It's going great. Great to be back over here and looking forward to it.
Thank you for coming. So, if you want to give a better introduction than I did, and after, please go straight to the pitch. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Just a brief introduction of myself. I'm a computer science by major. I did my undergraduate from a liberal arts institute here in Pakistan. After that, I had the opportunity to go into the world of finance. I was working on credit risk models at Deloitte. And when the COVID happened, I thought of starting a venture, and this was a problem that I personally cared about, and that is where YPay Financial came into being. So, just a brief context: YPay Financial Services is the easiest investment and savings platform in Pakistan. We are on a mission to basically democratize personal finance awareness and accessibility towards investments across Pakistan and the Pan-Islamic region. When we look for digital first platforms across the geographies, we see examples of Robinhood in US, Ajaib in Indonesia, Grow in India, Sav in Middle East. We saw that there are certain patterns that how these platforms curated the experiences of Gen Z and millennials, especially about towards their savings, and how they curated the experiences in terms of their personal finances journey. And what we saw that there were three common traits across the platforms, that all of them were mobile first platforms. They were instant. The onboarding and the investment experience and the saving experience was instantaneous. And above that, it was automated for Gen Z and millennials. So when we see all three combined together, we saw huge successes in terms of the how people save towards their personal finance journeys. But surprisingly, no such solution exists in Pakistan, and not just in Pakistan, but across the Pan-Islamic region. When we talk about Pakistan, Pakistan is among the most populous countries across the globe, where the financial inclusion rate is stellar. We have been growing on 40% year-on-year growth, but the savings ratio is still being stuck to one of the lowest in the world. Whereas we compare to our South Asian neighbors, Bangladesh and India, the average is around 30%, and the world average is 24%. And the major reasons for that is that the investment industry is still dependent on the retail investment industry is still based on telesales. So we believe that this is the right time for a platform like YPay to be the Robinhood for Pakistan and the Pan-Islamic region. We came into being as the first centralized digital wealth platform for Pakistan, regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission in Pakistan in their first ever regulatory sandbox. And since our launch, we have been able to scale. And since our launch in March 2022, we were able to scale to 20,000 customers that are actively using our platform. And what we saw that surprisingly more than 90% of our Gen Z and millennial customers were first-time investors into the capital markets of Pakistan, and that the only reason was the increased accessibility towards the capital market and the awareness that they were getting through platform like YPay about their personal finance. Since we were the part of the first regulatory sandbox, it gave us the head start to make strategic alliances with the relevant partners. We are connected with the NADRA, which is basically the central database for national identity verification. So it's a complete end-to-end journey of a customer. So we do eKYC, we do all their investment transactions. We also manage their portfolio. We also do advisory services. So it's a complete wealth tech solution where their end-to-end journey is managed. And the idea is not just to restrict to Pakistan, but to go across the pan-Islamic region where the opportunity is bigger than the $100 billion economy, and which is growing at a 15% year-on-year growth with more than 100 million customers that wants to use these kind of services. We are a team of individuals who, me and my co-founder, personally face this problem. So we are passionate about these problems. We are backed by advisors who have scaled similar products in similar regions. And we also are joined by industry experts who have built similar products in different industries. Our goal is to raise $1.75 million for our seed round to reach to more than 100 million customers and to scale this to not just into Pakistan, but also into the pan-Islamic region. So we invite you all to be part of this journey in democratizing personal finance awareness and savings and investment, not just across Pakistan, but across the pan-Islamic region. Thank you.
Thank you, Furqan. Let me start with how do you make money?
So we have two streams of revenue models. So for every transaction, we make commission out of the asset management companies, just like all over the world. So the major chunk of the money comes through transaction commissions, and the other one is the robo advisory that we do to our customers. So the customers only pay if they opt for advisory services, but for every transaction, we charge asset management companies as a commission.
Okay. In terms of advising, that's a very crucial point. I'm very happy you're allowing retailers to invest, but investing money is dangerous, and they must be taught and well educated how to manage money, how to invest money. How do you advise them? How do you protect them?
Mm-hmm. So YPay is a combination of two things. It's a financial literacy platform and it's a financial accessibility platform. So it is built in a way, and as I discussed, that more than 90% of our users are first-time users. So it is built in a way, so we have different diverse securities. So we don't want that user who is coming in and investing for the first time, we don't want to try out equity directly. We have certain diverse portfolios like mutual funds and ETFs, where this try out and start out and get good return, decent returns, like around 70 to 80% on low risk mutual funds. And once they get the education through the app, they are equipped with the platform, and we advise to go to higher risk funds. And other than that, there are a lot of robo advisory features within our app, which they can opt for, which is again, which is not a human guiding them on which securities to buy or sell. It's basically the algorithms that are built over data that have been tracked through the industry for the past many decades.
In terms of license?
So we are a regulatory securities and advisory company in Pakistan. We came out from the first ever regulatory sandbox because this was a new concept and idea. So we pitched this idea to the SEC in their regulatory sandbox. They really liked our idea, and we got our first commercial license. So we are the first one to get this sort of commercial license. And now we are regulated as a securities and advisory company by the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan.
You said before you use ETF, now in any other securities. Which kind of securities this guy can buy today? Where he can invest?
So in Pakistan, in Pakistan there is no concept of REIT or digital gold. So the securities that we can do is basically mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, and some insurance products.
Okay. You have already a good traction, and you already have, I think, asset under management 3.5 million. That's in USD, right?
Yep.
Now you charge commission, and you know better than me that you need a lot of money under management. A platform like yours can only survive if you have billions and not millions under management. How do you see your way to get there?
So we are completely aware of that. So there are multiple revenue streams. So since we were the first one to get this commercial license, so another revenue stream that we have just opened is the services, is the SaaS service that we give to B2B players. So since we were the first one to build this kind of central infrastructure where we do central KYC and we are integrated with all the asset managers in Pakistan, we have that kind of architecture that we provide as a SaaS service to other fintech players like payment providers or digital banks that are coming into existence in Pakistan. So they don't need to reinvent the wheel to create this infrastructure again. We provide our infrastructure as a SaaS service to these providers so that they can use our services as white label service, and they can have an investment arm on their product and features as well.
Do you allow your clients or users to buy crypto, for example, or any similar product?
So in Pakistan right now, the forex and crypto is regulated by the State Bank of Pakistan, but we are working with the SEC. As soon as it gets regulated, we will be for surely the first one to offer that. But right now, it's not regulated within the Pakistani fintech industry.
In terms of round, you are looking for 1.75, 1.8 million. Are going to use this money, and who is the investor you're looking for?
The target persona that we are targeting for investment, it should be all those people, whether it's a venture capital firm or angel investors who are passionate about emerging economies, and especially in the fintech sector and the financial inclusion sector. If they have passion for that, we would be more than happy to move ahead with them. The amount 1.75 million would mainly be used. So the 50% will be used in regulations. So the idea is not just to stay in Pakistan, but to get licenses across the pan-Islamic region. So the idea is to go to Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and UAE next after we are able to have stable growth in Pakistan. So the 50% of these amount will be used in regulation. The 50% will be used in product development, and the remaining will be used in growth and OPEX.
If I can give you an advice, be focused in Pakistan before they're moving outside. Regulations are different. Yeah, very, very costly. Furqan, thank you so much. Stay with us. We are all back soon, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Our last but absolutely not the least, Saivya Chauhan, founder and CEO of Blitz Electric Mobility, Jakarta, Indonesia, logistic pre-series A, 5 million in USD. How's it going, Saivya?
I'm good, Max. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. You're already doing very, very well. So we can't wait to see your pitch. But before, give an introduction to yourself, please. And after, let's go.
Sure. Quick intro on myself, guys. My name is Saivya. I'm currently based out of Jakarta, Indonesia. I started Blitz while I was still in college and have seen it through to its stage today. Where we are today, we're already profitable. We're doing decently in terms of our growth and traction. My background is in mechanical engineering, and before Blitz, I was working at Tesla Hyperloop. So I used a lot of my past experience to funnel that into Blitz and get us here where we are. But don't be mistaken, it is a team project, and my team deserves full credit. Without them, we would not be really half of where we are today. And without further ado, I would love to get more in depth into what exactly it is we're building here in Indonesia. So just to kind of give you some context, we are a one-stop EV logistics enabler, and we're based out of Indonesia. And the Indonesian logistics market space right now, the way it looks is to have around 8 million deliveries being done every single day. Now, that amounts to somewhere close to 3 billion deliveries just in Indonesia annually done for same-day deliveries, right? Now, that number is so unfathomably big, it's very difficult to even process what that means in terms of real day-to-day activities, right? So where does Blitz fit into that picture? Well, our 5 main goals are pretty straightforward. We increase the number of deliveries for our clients. We reduce the time spent as well as the miles traveled doing deliveries. We're then decreasing the delivery costs due to the other 2 reasons. And then at the same time, we're lowering emissions to our electric vehicles while creating new e-delivery courier jobs. And so with that, I want to kind of dive deeper into what it is that we have accomplished over the last 1 year. So we started operations sometime back in February 2022, and we broke even and became profitable as of February and March earlier this year. So just within about a year of operations, we had already sort of become sustainable. We're currently on a $1 million run rate annually, with around close to $80,000 in earnings MRR. That should be MRR. And we're on track to be at a $3 million run rate by December of 2023. We have 24 clients. Many of these logos you might recognize as their international players. We are working with all of them in Indonesia. We have close to 500 couriers that are being orchestrated by us in our system, and we are present nationwide in Indonesia. And in fact, we're actually the first mover when it comes to this business model within Asia Pac region. We have one comparable in India called Zip Electric, and they are mainly targeting the Indian market space, whereas we're targeting Southeast Asia and Greater Asia Pac. So now let's actually get into what exactly we do. We can sort of divide our clients' problems into 4 different categories. We can divide them into ESG, transport, manpower, and software. And what Blitz, in essence, does is we have our software, which then connects to each and every single one of these layers for our clients. So we optimize for our clients their deliveries on a delivery basis, on a vehicle basis, on a manpower basis, and lastly, on a carbon credits ESG basis. What this ends up looking like then is via our software, we're able to link every single system of a client into one package, and that is the package that we provide to our clients. So we are handling for our clients the software portion, meaning orchestrating these deliveries. We're handling their manpower. We're optimizing the skills of their drivers and their couriers. We're also optimizing their per vehicle unit economics that they're actually using to do these deliveries. And lastly, because all of this is done on electric vehicles, we're able to generate carbon credits, prevent emissions, and then sell that right back to the client for additional revenue. Our revenue model is fairly straightforward. We bill our clients on a per delivery basis. So we essentially charge them for the number of deliveries that were performed using our software system. And we're also then able to sort of sell back carbon credits, although that is a separate, much smaller revenue stream. So it's not advertised as highly as the main revenue stream, which is per delivery. In terms of the services that these clients get for that per delivery cost, well, there's a software layer. And then on top of that, we also help them get drivers, and we also help them procure vehicles. And that's how we're managing to convert these guys into becoming electric delivery operators. As I said earlier, we're spread nationwide in Indonesia, right now mainly in 14 cities, and we're slowly expanding to greater regions of Indonesia as well, and preferably later in the future into Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines, which are very similar territories in terms of mindset and how things are done there. This is a broader outlook of what our projections are leading us towards. So today we have 500 vehicles and drivers on the ground. We're generating $80,000 in monthly revenue, 24 clients, 14 cities, and 42 full-time employees. By the end of March, April next year, we will be at a much higher run rate. This is because and the reason we can be so confident in our projection is because we work on a B2B model with clients. And so we have fixed contracts, and that's how we're actually able to generate revenue. I'm going to stop here and kind of open up for questions because I want to be able to give time for that as well. So please.
Thank you, Sarah. Let's move forward. How much are you raising and for doing what?
So we're raising close to $5 million US, and it is mainly for increasing our tech capabilities under a pre-Series A banner. For our tech capabilities, expanding of our operations, hiring more manpower to support both operations and tech as well, and then also doing some marketing efforts. We have already secured close to 3 million of that 5 from institutionals in the region. So we are now looking to raise another 2 to supplement that.
You are a platform as a service for ride providers, right? So last mile delivery. Now, who are today your clients in the market?
So one misconception is that it is only applicable to logistic clients, but actually it is applicable to any client that has a logistics in its operations. So some obvious clients are, of course, logistic companies, but some unobvious and unorthodox clients are hospitals, pharmacies, chemist supplies, because these are deliveries that still need to be done. Banks, as another example for documents, cold storage, groceries, these other 1PLs that you would not think have logistic needs, but they do. Just because they're not a logistic company doesn't mean that we can't work with them. We can work with anything that moves. And so if it moves, we can optimize it. We can do 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, and 4-wheelers.
But when you talk about logistics, they must have a fleet to use your service. Or I'm wrong.
They don't need to. They don't need to have. We can either provide them with vehicles that we procure through our partners. If they have their own fleets, then we can work with those. Because the idea is their existing fleet is most likely gasoline. So what we end up doing is first we work with their gasoline fleets and then slowly convert them into electric through our partnership. We don't manufacture electric vehicles, but we work with other partners who provide us with the same.
But when it comes to EV, are for them required to use electric vehicle, or they can use any kind of your clients
Anything.
today?
It is up to their SOP. However, we can benefit greater cost savings if they change to EV.
That's my second question. How do you incentivize them to use EV and not polluting vehicles?
So at the end of the day, what we've seen is that clients best respond to cost benefit analysis rather than, let's say, environmental goals. So by being able to showcase the large differences in cost savings from using EVs on a just per fuel level, say petrol versus electricity, that's mostly enough to convince them. And the fact that we charge them per delivery to convert everything is a very easy way for them to step into electric vehicles without having to outright buy expensive assets like vans and electric trucks and electric motorcycles from day one.
In terms of credits, how you must have an exchange or something similar.
Correct. So we work with an agency based out of India and also in Singapore called Verdana. And essentially, you're capturing and recording the data set first of how many emissions are prevented. And then you process that data, which takes about 1 year. And then you upload it, or not upload it, but rather you send it to a certification agency like Gold Standard or Vera Credits. Once they can give their stamp of approval, then you can sell that on any carbon exchange that you want.
Okay, so everyone can buy and sell.
Correct. So like one caveat being is you need 1 year's worth of data before you are even ready to submit it for verification. And so we have just reached that 1 year mark. And so our certification process will start now. Certification, again, will take anywhere from 8 to 12 more months before they're ready to be sold. So it is a 2-year-long process, but the end result is that you're able to monetize basically the revenue from thin air because you're saving emissions that are being prevented by your delivery services.
I mean, I see your forecast is pretty aggressive. How do you get there?
Sorry?
Your forecast is pretty aggressive in the next 6-12 months. How do you get there? What's the strategy behind? You don't need to give me your receipt, of course not, but overall.
Well, because we work with B2B companies and we sign them for long-term contracts, we're able to pretty much lock in a client for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And with such long contracts, we are able to then accurately predict how much our demand will be by certain time point. That's how we were able to predict our profitability and actually meet our profitability targets 3 months in advance, because we're only limited by how much and how fast we grow rather than demand from clients.
In terms of investor persona, do you have anyone in mind?
Well, I mean, the obvious ones on an international platform are the Sequoia, the SoftBank, the Tiger Global. But really, anybody that is involved in the logistics space region doesn't really matter to us as long as they're well connected in terms of clients, in terms of their other business partner networks. We can work along with most. Logistics, understanding of logistics would be preferential.
Thank you so much, Saivya. Stay there because we are bringing all of you guys back right now.
Thank you, Max.
Uh,
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. I will start with you, Saivya, and I will add something more today. So we normally close why investors should invest in your startup at that stage. But before asking you this one, Saivya, why are you doing this? Why?
Well, I think we're at a stage right now where we're no longer in stealth mode. And so if you look at my LinkedIn as well, there was a point where it's pretty much inactive and suddenly it became active. Now, my growth strategy as a company has always been to do things quietly and grow quietly and make money quietly and then kind of surprise everybody that you're a big player. We're now at that stage where publicity actually matters, and outreach and networking on an open platform basis matters. And so I don't really have an intent from this event except to just get our name out. And if someone were to reach out through this platform, then that would be one great lead that was possible due to this.
I want to be more precise. What motivates you to launch this venture? That's my
Oh,
question. I
okay.
mean, what's behind you?
I think the biggest motivation is that we saw that there was a small opportunity. We tried out a small pilot and it worked. And the fact that people were paying us was a huge motivator that we were creating added value. Now, we've discussed a lot of these metrics about carbon emissions and whatnot. What I didn't get to talk about is the impact that we make on the lives of these couriers, right? By having their clients switch from gasoline to electric and and the way our software works, we're actually able to increase the amount that these couriers are earning on a day-to-day basis because they're also paid on a per delivery basis. So if you increase the per delivery for a client, we're directly influencing how much their couriers are earning. And seeing that real world impact in a gig economy that is already quite struggling due to Uber and Lyft and Ola and Grab and Gojek having to cut down on their budgets and then impacting these drivers, we're one sort of differentiator where we're actually adding value back into the gig economy. And seeing that difference made in these guys' lives is actually a huge motivator for my team and myself. And if we're able to make money on the side of that, then that much better.
Investors needs money because in one day they need to turn the money back. Now, why investing in your startup, your team, yourself?
Well, we have a very diverse team that is far older and far smarter than I am. Now, I'm usually the interface that is connected to investors, so it's easy to get lost that, oh, this is my company, but at the end of the day, it's my team's company, right? They have time and time again proven that whatever difficult task is in front of them, they'll manage to overcome it. We became profitable in one of the worst investing times in history, right after the best investing time in history, during the tech winter that just is still actually ongoing. So to be able to say that my team pulled that off, became profitable in this worst time, and is now able to thrive in that time, just shows that we can do even better when the times are not in a recession. And so that is not because of me, that is actually because of how well the team works together. And so I think that is a very good investment vehicle for any risk-averse investor looking to sort of work with companies that can survive the tech winter and do better beyond that.
Thank you so much, Saivya. I really appreciate you being with us today. And let me move to Furqan. Furqan, what motivates you? Why are you doing this venture? What is behind and why investing, of course, in yourself, your team, your company?
So yeah, when COVID happened, I was working at Deloitte. This is a problem that I personally faced myself, and what keeps me up, and that what keeps me passionate about in solving this problem. And if you are someone, whether you are an angel investor or whether you are someone who is passionate about in democratizing personal finance education and accessibility towards savings and investment, not just across Pakistan but across pan-Islamic region for more than 100 million users, then this is the startup that you should back for. And I'm looking forward to participate with you in this journey.
Thank you, Furqan. Akshat,
Hi, Max. Yeah.
so what motivates you and why investing?
So pretty simple. The impact that the drones are providing in the agriculture market and even in like other related fields like defense and everything, the impact that they are generating on the lives of the people and on the profits and on these small plantation owners who can make now profit and also on the health of the human labor who was suffering by using these pesticides and fertilizers, spraying them manually. They were going through so many health issues and all, and helping them out and making profit out of it, and providing that to our stakeholders, providing value to our stakeholders. That's something that definitely motivates me and my company, my subordinates as well.
And why investing?
Invest in us because the mission and the vision that we have is a long-sighted one, which will definitely be highly return providing to our investors, and a very critical problem is being solved in India through our model, and definitely it will help in the long run.
Thank you, Akash. Shershah, please, you can close today with motivation and why investing.
Thank you so much, Max. I think for me, from the get-go, I've been very problem focused. Giving people easy access to financing, and over time, what really motivates me is how we are able to create an impact in people's life through the services that we're providing. So, our focus has been towards productive asset. Our focus has been towards financing education, and these things really bring an impact in people's life, and help them improve their lives over time as well. So that really helps me. Even recently, when I was filling out the forms for some application, and they asked me what the best moment for me so far has been in the journey, and I believe it was when we discussed our first education financing loan. So these factors, these really motivate me on keeping growing and building. In terms of why the investors should invest in KalPay, well, I believe it's a very good opportunity for them to enable a promising and resilient consumer financing platform in Pakistan. We have been in the market for more than past 1.5 years. We understand the market, we understand the fundamentals, which is why we have survived and thrived in the tough economic situation as well. And primarily, we have very good mixture of technical and business expertise in the core team. Including myself, our CTO, and we have been able to build a very good team internally as well. Although it's still a small one, but we understand the market really well. It's and we have sort of tried to prove that with the track record that we have had over the past 1.5 years with the growth and numbers that we have been able to put out.
Shershah, Akash, Furqan, Saivya, thank you so much for being with us today. I really enjoyed a lot this session. And thank you to everyone watching our pitch event. You can go on our YouTube channel and see all our previous and next pitch events we are going to run, and also all our founders and watching again this one. Thank you, everyone. I really, guys, wish
Thank you
you
so
the
much.
best. And I hope
you,
and I'm
Max.
sure the match we can have.
Thank you, Max.
So much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. It was great.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.